Floyd as in Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Focus Up Show. I am Floyd X, Floyd as in Pretty Boy Floyd, Money Mayweather, or Pink Floyd, or Floyd whatever, and X as in unknown. And welcome. We got my guest host, El Pooh. Good afternoon, El Pooh. How are you?
Well, it would be afternoon if I was on the East Coast, I believe, but I'm on the West Coast. So good morning, brother. I'm doing all right. Blessed and happy to be here once again, but highly disappointed in the Dodgers. I would just say the Dodgers. So today's letter is sponsored by, today's show is sponsored by the letter D for disappointed.
Okay, disappointed. And I also will have our brother, Mr. Brother Afro Agnostic. Good morning, brother. How are you today, sir?
Oh man, early. I'm here. What's up?
Chilling.
We get busy, man.
All right. With great sadness, I would like to announce that our brother, Mr. Nice Guy, has exited the show and the network. No harm, no hard feelings. He's still our brother. We still respect and appreciate him. He's welcome back anytime he so chooses. So it's no negative feelings, but he just had to move on. But we greatly appreciate him, and he's always welcome back. All right. How was your day going on, El Poo? I already did. Okay. I'm trying to regrasp everything. Y'all ready to get it started? Let's talk about what we're talking about today. What's going to be our first topic? We're expecting Mr. Walk to come in about 10 minutes. He should be on. Thankfully, we have no RIPs to announce this week, so we'll just get right to the show. Let's just jump let's start it off with the Stephen A. apologizes. I didn't even upload the video. God damn it. Let me try to upload it. Yeah. Stephen A. has issued a formal apology to Jasmine Crockett because he feels like that what he said incited backlash or gave Trump administration justice to criticize her and talk crazy about her because he opened the door. So he apologized. Did y'all get to see that apology or check it out, Brother Afro?
No, I didn't see this one on the agenda. I know it was in the group chat, but I just want to say really quick though, even though we don't do RIPs, I was just thinking we should give flowers even when we don't do RIPs. But anyway, I didn't check it out, but he should have apologized because what he said was, as y'all just to reiterate what y'all said, he's attacking Black people, particularly Black women, and using them to catapult himself. That's all of his examples of his would-be political harms that are being called in since his campaign to, I guess, become a politician. And a lot of that is coming with the release of his new book and his new podcast. So he used Black people as a publicity stunt, and this congresswoman was just an example. So he should have apologized. We need some money. We need some compensation, some reparations for the harm too.
Yes, sir.
Just like that. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your take, Mr. El Poo?
Well, if he's trying to be a politician and align himself with Trump, he's just going to fall into the line with the rest of the A-kissers and everything that's out there. All of them kissing Trump's butt. None of them got a job in his administration. So let that be a warning to you, Stephen A.
It's like that.
Because they DEI hires. I mean, they will be if they got it. Yeah.
Man, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes, it takes the community or the people to just attack and go at him and be like, man, what you doing that for? And to get on him, because I think he felt the heat. Everybody like, how you sitting there talking about an accomplished sister who made it this far and is able to get on TV at every opportunity she get to speak against the this Trump train that's going on, and even if she's just a small voice, she's still a voice. Why would you try to kill it or take shots at it? That's what disgusted me about it, what he did. And I know he's a be a unrepented COO and with a long one, because every time we think he's coming back to this side, he just jump right back and remind you of who he is. So I have
what exactly did he say, or some of his comments from the apology that he issued? Was it a video of him apologizing, or was it just a
Floyd X did have some audio of it. He did called her accomplished and stuff like that. So I know he's gonna fall out of grace with Trump for saying that just alone. So
yeah. I got the video loaded right here. I'm about to play it for you, brother.
It should be done respectfully. It should be done with the sensitivity that it needs to be done with. I get it. I understand. But I'm going to be me. I'm going to call it like I see it. I can look Jasmine Crockett in the face and say, I'm sorry for any kind of noise I caused in your direction. Because she is accomplished and she is smart, and she does have an incredible challenge working in this political climate on Capitol Hill. I got it. And when Trump came at her like that, I said, damn it. I was pissed off, because I said, that's what they're talking about. When they're saying, you know what, when you question something about her, it's going to invite that. I understand. But we also need to be able to ask her questions.
All right. What do you think about that, Brother Afro? Was that an appropriate apology?
It was half-hearted. It was partial. He never was really clear on what he was apologizing for. So that, and then what motivated him, as El Poo said, to, selectively, his selective criticism towards Black people and Black women in particular. So he's never really explained that part of it. So I think that's a weak apology.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was from the backlash that he jumped on it, or he felt the necessity, because
it wasn't genuine. It wasn't sincere. That's
yeah.
why.
Yeah. So I think this is appropriate for Stephen A. right here.
Listen, come here. Shut your stupid ass up.
That's funny. That should be his new name. SAS stands for Stupid Ass Smith. Cool. All right. So let's move on. What's the next topic we're going to jump on here? You want to talk about the FBI and the NBA? I know, Afro, these are all topics that just came at the last minute. And without Mr. Nice Guy here, we shuffling it around and trying to get it organized, because he was the master organizer and making sure everybody had the topic. So I know we kind of catching you off guard with this, but
no, I got the agenda that went out, but I was thinking about this one too. Like, why I didn't do sufficient, like cursory, superficial research on it, man. But my big question when the story came out, I saw what's that former player that's the coach? He's caught up in it.
Chauncey Billups.
And some other people. But I'm thinking, like, how could, because they say like 18, 13 mafiosos were involved in it. Like, where was their pictures at? You know what I'm saying? Like,
point. That's a good point.
Where's the families involved in this? Because they're usually like, I know Chauncey Billups is not running this,
Yeah, that's a good point.
They also say that Gilbert Arenas is snitching.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
Now, was he trolling or was he serious? Because I saw that picture. He was like, they said informant lunch, and he's sitting there eating food or something. Did y'all see that?
Nah, eating food with who? The prosecutor?
Let me find this picture real quick. It was I don't know if he was trolling or if it was really him. Wasn't that Gilbert Arenas?
Yes, sir. That's him. I saw
Informant.
Mason Cameron talking about it, and Mace was like, "This man snitching." He's seen more snitching in the last 12 months since, I guess, Alpo and Sammy the Bull and somebody else he had used. He didn't use Alpo, but he had used somebody else though.
Yeah. Okay, here go the picture. Shit. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know if he's joking about it or he just finds it funny or what. Or I don't think he's taking it serious. So, but where's that picture at? But
While
this
you
what
get that up there, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Nice Guy for saying, what's up? All love to Focus Up Show.
Salute to brother Nice Guy, Mr. Nice
Yes, sir.
Guy.
All love, Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, this is the picture that was coming up. They were just showing them eating and informing lunch. I don't know if you're trolling or what, but So I don't think nobody that really snitched would do this unless you that one guy, 6'9". But shit.
That's what I was thinking. But yeah, it's crazy how they talking about all these NBA players and everything, and all of them that I seen been black, and they talking about the mafia, and I don't know no black people in the mafia.
So he said Gilbert Arenas was the first chip that failed. He said he was snitching when he got pinched. Okay.
That's usually what happens.
Just like that. But shit, they probably gonna go to jail and we probably ain't gonna hear nothing about the mafiosos. You know what I'm saying? They probably gonna just pay off who they pay off and go about their business. But the NBA players, they gonna sit in jail because they popular and they want to be made examples of. They're gonna be sitting in jail, and I'm sure Trump won't pardon them.
Yeah. All you gotta do is be a Republican and just donate some money. You'll get a pardon. If you even get charged.
Man. Just like that. All right. Anything more anybody want to add? Are we ready to move on from that one?
I guess we can move on.
I didn't read too much on that one.
All right. Y'all want to jump to Trump's ballroom? Y'all want to talk about the masterful, the master builder, the great designer and his broad plans for the Trump's ballroom, tearing down a third of the White House, and nobody has nothing to say, none of the Republicans, and everybody's sitting there peaceful and act like it's just business as usual?
Well,
I think it's another case of vanity over humanity. Like they got this money for, these grand parades, and they got like millions of dollars, but spent $5 million just to deconstruct Black Lives Matter Plaza in DC.
Damn.
And I know they raised this money from private funders and corporate entities, but they use the White House as a space to raise money. And it just shows you the political will when they want to do something. They can easily raise $200 million. They did it in a weekend. And that's going to go into the East. And then the other thing, too, is like the East End of the White House is where they have a lot of gatherings and events. How many Black people, like, yearly participate in that?
Very much.
Like these events, these galas, these fundraiser, or even bring some athletic teams. I guess you might have some Black people participants during those specific times, maybe, perhaps. But when he invited LSU, that was mostly still white, right? The baseball team. But again, they got the money for all this extravagance while people are being unemployed, Black women leading the unemployment rate. And, there's no loan forgiveness, all this catastrophic. They cut and snap, you know what I'm saying? But to be doing this in the face of all that, is really just like a slap in the face to me.
All right, let's welcome Mr. Walk to the show. How you doing, this Mr. Walk?
I'm good. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
It look like you out there with the Pedros, man.
I am.
You out there with the Pedros. You picking la frutas, huh?
Grave. How's my mic? How do it sound? Do I need to change it?
We can hear you.
I hear you, but it sounds a little. It's cracking a little bit, and it's a little muffled a little bit, just a little bit.
Go ahead. We talking about Trump's ballroom, and what's your take on it, or how you feel about it, and things of that nature, Mr. Walt?
Trump is a gangster. He remodeling. He moved in and he said, "I'm remodeling this sucker. I want this here. I want to put this there." I'm and as far as what they're saying, it's legal. It's not like what he's doing illegal. He did. They destroyed a whole the East Wing that it has historic value, but hey, it had his run. So and now he's leaving his mark. That's going to be for the next century at the very least.
Okay, but they're trying to justify this by blaming Obama for changing the tennis court into a basketball court. Now, how can you compare that? That change of the tennis court probably cost what? Maybe $100,000 at the most. But we're talking about tearing down the whole East Wing and putting up a ballroom. So it's going to go from looking like it looks like, currently, to looking like this. In fact, they're going to change the back of the $20 bill to look like this. And then they're going to put up a ballroom that looks like this.
Hey, I ain't mad at him at all, man. Do what it do. So what? You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna do more good than bad. I'm talking about for future. They're gonna hold events there. More people will be able to come.
Who's gonna be attending? Who are the attendees at these events?
People who spend
people.
Rich
That's
don't
it.
know.
Whoever spend that money.
The rich folks.
No, I'm saying it's not even going to benefit the average person or black people in general. You're just spending lots of money. Again, it's vanity over humanity for their own, comfort, and so they can dine and have galas and expensive, grandstand and all that type of stuff. I mean, I can't support that. It's not enough for me to say he's strong and he does that. Why is he doing? I'm gonna criticize that, man. Fuck that.
Why does he have a problem with them showing pictures of them tearing down the East Wing? And he already said out of his own mouth that he wasn't going to even touch the East Wing or the White House the way that it is. So again, he's lying. So
it's nothing new with his lying, man. And I don't know, like when we talk about protesting it, the voices that really need to be protested aren't protested. Like the leadership, the whatever leadership in the Republican and the Democrat, they just letting it happen and watching it happen. And I wonder if he would have said, "I'm gonna tear down the whole White House and rebuild it," would they have anything to say about it?
Well, that would be the first time that it was. It wouldn't have been based on slave labor.
Damn! Wow, that's a good point. But let's check out this video. I was watching the Fox. This so-called brother on Fox News was speaking about it, and when they talk about it, it just makes me like, how are they so adamant or they position? But let's check this out.
It doesn't matter what he does. He's not the first president to do this. Barack Obama put in basketball courts. No one cried about that. Somebody had a pool, and somebody filled it in. I think it was Nixon filled the pool in. So this is not out of the spectrum of craziness. He's putting in a ballroom. Yes, it's a little weird. The ballroom won't be finished for 4.5 years. So maybe during his third term, he'll have the first inaugural ball. I hope to be there. I would wear a tux, not wear the hat.
I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to finish ahead of time.
Of course they are, because he's paying with his own money. The taxpayer, build whatever you want. The only thing I would ask is if maybe conjunction to the Rose Garden, we get some barbecue pits there. That'd be nice. I would be there in a second.
And I'm
he won.
That's that token. And you saw how he went off script, and the Caucasian dude had to put it back on script. No, I believe he's going to get it done before he leaves. Oh yeah, he's going to get it done because it's Trump. That's how they keep him on script. He put him right back online. If you're going to be on this show with your hat to the back, representing the so-called inner city blacks, you know what I'm saying? It's like he knows what his position is. He knows what he's there for.
Okay, isn't it ironic that he's trying to sue the DOJ for about $200 million, and that ballroom's supposed to cost supposedly at least $200 million. I'm sorry, $200 million.
$250 million.
Or whatever it is. And then the man had the nerve to say, it's like I'm suing myself. See, I keep telling y'all, whenever he says America, he means him.
Just like that. Man. So yeah, so Mr. Walk, you still there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
What's up?
No, I'm just trying to get the shit ordered. I'm looking around and trying to do all of. Hey man, so the
Walk,
ballroom,
you get some feedback out of your mic though, bro.
we could jump to let's jump to the government shutdown because he's spending his $250 million on this ballroom. Meanwhile, the government is shutting down. The EBT SNAP programs might get cut. Let's jump to the shutdown and the EBT SNAP situation. So, according to reports, the EBT and the SNAP programs may end, and the government, the Department of Labor, is not going to use the $600 billion in funds that they use anytime a shutdown or emergency happen. Emergency fund. They said they're not going to use it, and Trump says they are, but there's nothing that's showing that they will if this government shutdown continues. But yet, it's still he's still spending that money to do other things and not the things that he promised to his supporters.
Right. Like sending $40 billion to Argentina.
Yeah. Man. So what's your take on that, Mr. Brother Afro?
Yeah, look, a couple of facts about SNAP. Is the largest recipients of SNAP are, of course, white people. The largest recipients by gender are single women, or I think, and also women in general. The vast majority of SNAP recipients by age are children. I'm sorry, the vast majority work, and about 50% of recipients are children. So this whole shutdown, they know in advance what's going to happen in the month of November. 42 million people are not going to have access to food, and 50% of those are going to be children. And I work in the schools, so the lunch programs are going to be affected by that too, because by being a recipient of SNAP, you're eligible for free lunch. But with these cuts and funds not coming in, people are going to be cut off from SNAP, and there's a whole lot of bureaucracy that they'll have to work through in order to qualify for free lunch. So, this is from the party who claims they're concerned about children before they're born. But once they're born, here we are. And there's like 4 or 5 different alternatives that Trump and the administration could do and promote to make sure that would give SNAP kind of like mandatory funding, like Medicare and Medicaid, where those cannot be affected. But there's a lot of alternatives. They put a freeze purposely on the emergency funds, the contingency funds. So those won't be first. They would have covered about over 3/4 of the people receiving SNAP for the month of November. But they put a freeze on that because they're using it as leverage to pressure the Democrats to okay the fiscal budget, which is basically okay on the one big beautiful billionaires bill.
Right. Mr. Walk.
This is something the Democrats and Republicans do. This is a strategy that's used like every 4 years or every 2 years around election time. It's like a volleyball, and then they're saying, "Oh, it's their fault. It's our fault." Democrats was the last ones to do this a few years back. So this is just something that occurs within these political seasons. So I kind of feel like they're going to save it in the nick of time, or they might, go cut off the SNAP, like maybe for a few weeks, and then they're gonna come to some type of agreement. But this not surprising me. And some of these fat welfare mamas need to get off that thing for a little bit.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let somebody else speak though. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. El Poo.
First, I want to say this. They're going to see why they call it SNAP if them food stamps don't hit by November 1st. One.
People go SNAP.
And also, let me get rid of this banner real quick, if you don't mind. Number 2, this is Marie Antoinette times 1,000. She said, "Let them eat cake." This man said, "Let them eat nothing."
Hey, El Poo, that was on my mind, man, this whole time. But yeah. But I just want to say this, one way they're able to go after SNAP and attack SNAP is by creating these caricatures. You think of these welfare queens, these big fat mamas that are just sitting there doing nothing. Again, the largest recipients are white people. The red states are the largest recipients of SNAP over blue states, because blue states have more safety nets in place, so you have less people that really need SNAP. And this is an issue of poverty. And a lot of these things can be solved by redistribution of wealth, which is really all the fiscal budget is. That's what the one beautiful bill is about, redistributing the wealth. Again, the government budget does not change from year to year. Say it was $20 last year, it's $20.02 this year. The budget doesn't change. All they're doing is redistributing the wealth, and we can think of periods in the United States history where we had the least gap between the rich and the poor. And it was the 40s and the 50s. Why? Because they fucking tax the rich. But this bill does just the opposite. The one beautiful bill, it gives the rich a tax break and then puts the burden. Again, this is why they're clogging up. This is why the Democrats are not, are filibustering here, because it's clearly the Democrats, they're filibustering. But at the same time, the Republicans, they don't want to compromise. I mean, the bill was passed on partisan terms. That means it's winner takes all. So at some point, folks got to compromise in order to keep the government functioning. And, on this issue, I have to side with the Democrats, even though I hate them just as much as the Republicans.
Man, in the long run, who you think is going to win in this holdout? You think the Republicans going to cave first, or the Democrats going to cave?
I think the Republicans have more things stacked in their favor on their side. And, just like in sports, whoever has the most advantages usually wins. So I think the Republicans are going to win.
Well, why wouldn't the great negotiator bring the Republicans to the table? He refused to even have a debate about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a good comment right there, Mr. Nice Guy put up there. Dems are only asking for two things to protect the people. Republicans are just in a pissing contest, even though they have total control and the nuclear option. They just want to break the Dems. I mean, it's purely political at the the poor people are going to lose. And check this out. In the meantime, the national debt has hit $38 trillion for the first time. Now think about that. And that's under Trump. Now the big beautiful bill is supposed to bring down the debt, right? So they say. So what do you see that at? And what about these grocery prices? And I want to know what 7 wars he ended too. Tell me that. I want an account of that.
I mean, it's just lies on top of lies. I mean, just stack them up. Just throw it into the other pile of lies that he making. It's overwhelming to where we're not even moved by it. He just tell another lie, and those that support him just be like, well, he had to do this and he had to do that, and it continues on. And I mean,
and Doge is supposed to be like the one big beautiful, I call it billionaires bill. It's supposed to be consistent with the goals and the aims of Doge, and we see that it's really not about efficiency, because the deficit has gone up, as El Poo pointed out. But there's been more distribution of resources towards the wealthy, and less between the poor, and also women and blacks and browns. Just this year, the government, a part of those cuts, Black women have led in unemployment from government cuts, and women, in terms of gender, have lost more jobs than men. And what was the other piece? But guess what demographic has lost the least jobs? White males. And at the end of the day, this is what Doge and the one beautiful big bill is all about. It's about redistribute. At the end of the day, you can say, argue this and this and this, but we know that the war on drugs was a war on Black people. I don't know why we can't make the logical step to understand that the war on DEI is also a war against Black people and other minority and marginalized groups.
Well, let me bring this here though. as far as
Break
with
it down.
the
Break
SNAP.
it down, Walt.
Let's bring it back to the SNAP program, because I'm a person that was on the county for like 2 years after I got out for my vacation. You know, and when I got off of vacation, I was a single father, and I went through the programs, the game program. Went to technical training for this and that, and it actually helped me. It helped me to get a better job, and then I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and then I eventually got off welfare. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. When you used to pay for stuff with food stamps, it's hard to pull that $100 bill out and really pay for some groceries on your own. Like, you do get used to it. This might be an incentive for people to get off of their behinds and get some jobs and get working and stop getting accustomed to those handouts, because that's just what they are. But I'm not knocking the program. It is necessary. But they do offer schooling. They do offer a lot.
Take those
Oh
horns back,
shit!
man. That's some BS, man.
Go ahead, retort,
The
Afro. Yes, sir.
majority of SNAP recipients work. The majority of the people work. They're employed. They just don't make enough money to rise a certain, percentage above the poverty line. That's it. It's based on poverty, your level of poverty. And being poor never was an incentive for poor people to stop being poor. Redistribution of wealth is a proven way to get people to stop being poor. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Nah, I disagree,
Redistribution
bro.
of
There's
wealth.
so in history where people say, I'm going to give you less. And then because of that, they started making more. There's no precedent for that.
No, it's not it's not about you making less so you're gonna make more. It's like you get accustomed to the handout. You get accustomed to it. Because
So,
listen, wait, what they do with the food stamps, let's say you making $200 extra, they'll cut that on the food stamps. So it's like then you like, well, I might as well not work because I was kind of making good by just chilling at the house selling dope or whatever. And I'm not just
Is that
speaking
what you
toward
said?
my people.
Is that what you
I'm not
said?
just speaking toward black people.
Is that what you said when you were? Those are things that you thought.
No, I was hustling too. When I was on the county, I was hustling because I couldn't get a job because I had a felony. So I was doing a whole bunch of different stuff as well as getting that money. You know what I'm saying? It was $585 in cash and $240 food stamps. It wasn't enough to live off. Like, that's just the truth. But the programs, the job training and different programs that helped me, I utilized it to the fullest. And then I got off the county like years ago. Like, you know what I'm saying? I bought some food stamps the other day and I was like, oh, this
So do
sure
you
feel
think?
good.
So you think majority of the people who are recipients act or think in the same way that you did when you were a recipient?
Brother, I've encountered some of these people in the attitude. A lot of them is laziness, but I have seen the other side as well. It is like, I might as well get this free money. Think about when the pandemic shutdown occurred, where there's a lot of people who was getting what I don't even know what it was, but it was like just getting paid just to stay home. And then they like, well, we might as well not even go back to work because I'm making more now. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, but that came to an end.
Exactly. And they had to get their ass to fucking work.
Okay. But you got some people that's been on,
I need
welfare.
another horn. Nah.
You got some people that's been
people
taking
didn't start
advantage.
working. A lot of people started. They had the biggest what do you call it? Entrepreneurial drive. People starting their own businesses. But if your logic is correct, which I disagree, I don't think it is, but some of the biggest recipients of welfare are corporations, corporate welfare. So we should start there. If you want to attack and take away welfare, I think we should start with corporate welfare, and
I agree.
because they get used to those government breaks that they get. Like Trump's first business, he got an $80 million abatement, which is basically just tax relief from the state of New York to establish the Trump Plaza in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So I think we should go after corporate welfare first.
Well, corporate welfare is huge. Like, let's say with the Obama phones, who getting money off of that? That's the major cell phone networks. And it shouldn't even be called the Obama phone. It should be called the Bush phone because it started under Bush. That's where he implemented that. But Obama came under his watch. That's why they call it the Obama phone. But that's pure corporate welfare. That's a guaranteed check every month. Where's my Obama phone?
Would you agree, though, that when people think of welfare and kind of how the caricatures and stuff, they think of these individual, poor, black and brown people. They don't think of these rich, white, corporate billionaires that are recipients of welfare from the government.
Yeah, I agree.
They just fly under the radar. They fly under the radar with all the billions of dollars, and we just sit here and get mad at the so-called fat black people that's on welfare, and that's what we're gonna attack. Yeah, let's get them off and get their asses to work.
Yeah, it even got poor white folks living in Kentucky in a damn trailer looking at black folks like, oh, they lazy. We not lazy though. You know what I mean?
They're entitled. That's how they feel.
Stereotypes.
Look, I feel that welfare, food stamps, etc., that should be a bridge between you maybe losing your job and you getting another job. I done got food stamps, a couple of times, but that was only for a matter of months. Then I went back to work. I'm not used to, taking handouts and stuff like that. I didn't feel good about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to working and making my own. But I do feel like some people are taking advantage, white people, black people, Mexicans, and everything else in between. If you getting welfare for years and years and years and staying on Section 8 for generations, something is wrong with that. And those people need to be out there, like a Big Cuz said, probably working the fields or wherever the case is. But, but working them fields, man, that's tantamount to slavery for me.
But I'm saying, but just be clear, the majority of the recipients, the poor people who receive it because of their relationship to the poverty line, they do work. Let's be clear, they're unemployed. So I'm saying 70 to 80% of the, and then the ones that don't work,
unemployed or underemployed,
where they're employed, they work.
They
receive a check, but they don't to boost them above the poverty line. And then those who are not working, a certain percentage of those cannot work because they're too old or they're disabled.
Well, those are the people that actually deserve it. People that's disabled and people that's, elderly, what I'm saying? And to an extent, kids too. The school lunch programs and stuff like that. Don't take from that. Now you just, punishing people that has no say at all. You know what I'm saying? Why take away from a child? Like you say, these people are the same people that supposedly care about a child before they're born, but once they're born, once again, what does that mean? My head up there? That didn't mean nothing.
El Pooh, you mentioned the food stamps. Remember the paper food stamps? Me and El Pooh used to shoot dice with them paper stamps, baby. Yeah. Backdoor Little Joe, baby.
La Brea Trucking for all of your trucking needs. East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast, North to South, South to West. Check on us. Y'all saw the phone number at the end. Call him if y'all need something transported across the country. The brother will come pick it up. He now has a fleet of vehicles, so give him a call if you need something hauled.
Black honey at the Slauson Swap Meet. I don't even know where it's at, but I do know this. We've been advertising for you since for the last few years, and you ain't been on the show for a minute. Come back, get you some of that black honey that I'm telling my nice guy.
Score Bar and Lounge. It's football season. Go to Score Bar, 7123 Franklin Boulevard, Sacramento, California. Go check them out Sunday. They got 49ers fans and Raiders fans. They deep up in there and they be watching the games. Go check them out.
Turn up the dial, it's 10:30. Be back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip hop intact. Saturday mornings, dive into the history. Samples and stories, old school mysteries. Early self-static, Shiraz of TV.
Spin that back show. Top rated show on the Focus Up Network. Just want to throw that out there. We ain't going to be on this week, but we will be back. Unlike Sex Talk with Walker, we will have another show soon.
Man, tells no lies. Tells no lies.
Ouch. Ouch.
Focus Up Network. Salute. Membership. Salute. Appreciate you.
Salute to West Coast Cam. Keep doing what you're doing, brothers. Much appreciate you and what you do.
Cam Muhammad.
Listen,
Cam Muhammad.
Cam Muhammad.
Cam, baby. Hey, well, let's give a shout out too. This is still Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And Sex Talk will Walk. We are very aware of breast and cancer.
Stupid. All right. Let's talk about the what I was gonna title the big U of the pulpit or the big worm of the pulpit. But I just ran with what's the name? The Bishop Rebuke. Let's pull this picture up. I know everybody been talking about it all week, so it's been in the media. So we just gonna give our take on it. Let's play the clip so everybody that if you didn't see it, you can check it out and we're gonna speak on it.
Your seed of giving of $1,000 plus one. If you're here, join me in the center aisle now. Let's give God praise as they come.
Hey, Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of perfecting church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
There you have it.
Man, that man like what's this? Does Pastor Warren have to slap her?
Is that rebuke or is that pimping? That's my question. Well, what was that? How did she come with $1,200? $1,200. Go ahead, Walt.
Pimping. That's pimping. That sounds like sugar free. I need that 2,000 quota at least, bitch. Get out there. That's basically what he did. That was disgusting. That in front of everybody, embarrassing to himself and her. And how can he have the audacity to do that in front of the whole crowd and not have a damn Charlie Kirk moment?
The Charlie, oh damn. Okay.
Ooh.
God damn, dude. I wasn't expecting that. What's your take, brother Afro?
Man, y'all not gonna sit in here and talk about the Winans now. That's the
Detroit. Okay, Detroit in the house.
They've been in the ministry like 60 years, and this is where I argue with a lot of conservative people like Student X. And they always want to shift the blame to individuals. And even in this discussion about the SNAP program, we don't look at institutional responsibility. These mega churches, they make a lot of money. This is a mega church. If you have to qualify as a mega church, you need a membership of 2,000 people. If you just collect $50, from 2 million people every month, you got $5 million at the end of the year. And they get this money, what's a month? I'm saying I can't remember what I was trying to say, the math, but they make approximately on average millions, couple of $3-5 million a year. That's on the low end of some mega churches, and it's tax free.
Yep.
And they get a lot of the property that because they're 501(c)(3)s, and they get property on the state level and on the municipal level. They don't have to pay taxes like non-religious institutions. And this particular church happens to was sued by the city of Detroit. Damn. You know what I'm saying? For they were given breaks and they didn't follow the deadlines to do what they were supposed to do, establish the sanctuary on Woodward and 7 Mile, which they didn't do, and they squandered the funds. So there's no institutional responsibility. That's part of the issue. I mean, we can look at this individual person, Marvin Winans, but we can also look at the entirety of mega churches and say, man, y'all got to start paying taxes. And some of that money can be actually used in the community or something. Because man, he was so ungrateful, man. He wasn't like, hey, sis, you in the wrong line. I appreciate thank you though. He like, man, like Walk said, pimping.
Yep. And then the second video, he says he has his wife come up there and say he said, show her how to do it right. Let me show you this one.
All right. Show us how it's done, Sister Winans.
I, Deneen Winans, give in faith and stand in unity with the Vision of Perfecting Church of sowing this seed of $1,170 and my fundraiser of $830.
Amen.
And receiving the blessing to come to all that's anticipated or all that participated.
Amen.
Amen.
That's it.
Now that's the first lady of the church. That was his wife.
Man, that's nothing but that's like transferring your funds from your savings account to your checking account.
Man, Word.
Man, that's a shame.
As Trump suing the DOJ.
One thing I noticed, I never seen a church member get rich being a member, but I always see a pastor get rich being a pastor. How does that shit work?
See, remember 20 years ago, I had this conversation with my congregation, my guys, Do Rock Production. I said, we need to start a church, Do Rock Church of Christ. We'll be rich. See, we'll be up there with them jets talking about, bring the rest of that money, how? Bitch, that's only $1,200. You know what I'm saying? But wait, let me take that back. But wait, let me walk that back. I wouldn't do that now because I have too much more. I was a young knucklehead, drinking, smoking, all that stuff, rapping and all that. But I couldn't do that now. I have 4 children, and life is pretty good for me, even though, this car's kind of toe up. But I couldn't do it now. And that's how these preachers should look at this, man. How do you even have the morals to be this type of person? If this was back in the day, Jesus would have went up in there and flipped the tables up, baby.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Real talk. Shit.
And I want to say another quick thing, kind of piggyback on the prior discussion, is that poor people happen to donate more in proportion to their income. They donate a higher percentage of their income to the church and other what do you call it? When you give things away, charitable type of things. Yeah, and that's something that's not really talked about when you talk about the recipients of SNAP, which are poor people. They usually donate more of their income. Yeah,
that's how the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. That's the reason why I don't go to church. I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I couldn't imagine handing over $1,000 to anybody and they talking to me like that. I couldn't imagine.
Could you
don't get me wrong though. The 70,
probably
80% of the black churches, 90% of black churches are poor. They're not mega churches, just to be clear.
Yeah. What you gonna say, Walt?
Oh, could you imagine your woman doing that? Because sometimes the men stay home and the wife goes to church with the children. Could you imagine your wife up there or your girlfriend just donated $1,200, $2,000 to
crazy,
church? Now, I understand the tithing. I understand that. Give 10%. I get up your income. I totally understand that. My buddy does that faithfully, and he said that he does receive blessings. But then just to ask for straight up, I need 2 racks from everybody. Wow. So, damn, what would you do if that's your lady up there?
I'll be knocking on that pastor's door like, hey, we need to talk. Because her son was standing right there. A child was standing there, and he was embarrassed. If you look at that child's face when that bishop started talking to her, oh, that was embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
You're not going to preacher's door like, we need to run that back.
Need to run that.
Hey, what's the difference between a preacher and a pimp?
I don't know.
One drives a Cadillac, the other one drives a Lincoln.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to I'm gonna call this the philosophical corner. I was watching a video the other day of our brother Rizza Islam. He was speaking at the Beehive TV, and he spoke on freedom. So I want to ask the question to the panel here: what is freedom, and how close are we to it? But first, I'm gonna play the video so y'all can see what I saw, and then we'll speak about freedom and what is it.
What we're facing here, we are this close to freedom, bro. Satan's world is over. It's right here. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said the world of white supremacy is on its deathbed. If that is the case, then we gotta put the last few nails in that coffin, bro. We right here. We buying up land. We coming together with finances and economics. We're building our own schools. We have our own grocery stores. We're owning transportation systems, bro. We building. We coming out with technology. We are owners. We have patents. We have all this stuff. We are entering into international trade and commerce with our brothers and sisters across the diaspora. Hold up. Keep your foot on the damn gas. Do not slow down. Ever. Don't do it. We right here. It happened before. We started slowing down. We started getting paid. No, we're going to give you a toilet. We integrate you into Brown versus Board of Education. You come into our schools. Hey, give up all your baseball leagues. Jackie Robinson, you can come on into this. Forget the Negro leagues. Even though y'all better, even though we wanted y'all because you're talented. But, go ahead and disband all those. We know you had 60 overall black towns. They were all thriving. It wasn't just Tulsa. Y'all are doing well. But you gave all of that up to come on in and be accepted by us. Hold up. We are right there. Keep pushing.
Okay.
What is freedom?
Let me say one thing. The only problem I have with that was they didn't give up Tulsa. They got bombed out of Tulsa. Mm-hmm. That's all I want to make the correction on right there, on that one little part. But go ahead.
What is freedom? And how close are we? Let's go. Based off what he's saying and what y'all thinking, let's go. Let's start with you, Brother Afro. You want to speak on it first?
Well, my big issue was, this is a philosophical question. And it depends on how, there are a lot of writings about the subject matter. And depending on how informed you are will determine your definition. And your definition will determine what political goals, political objectives you think relate to freedom. For people in the Black Power movement, it might be sovereignty. I don't think we were closer to sovereignty in the 60s and the 70s than we are today. I think we're further away. Philosophically, we can go on many routes. I'd rather just say where I agree and disagree with someone else because, it can be freedom to, freedom from. Some people associate freedom with proximity to other people or, they relate it to desegregation. I don't know. So I'm going to just let others speak on it. That's why I didn't. This is a philosophical question, man.
I don't want to hear that. That sounds like a big old. It depends. We don't use it depends on the Focus Up shout. What freedom is to me? Freedom is independence. Freedom. Yeah, this is my definition. I'm not saying maybe, perhaps. Freedom is independence. Freedom is me willing and able to do what I want to do. If I want to work, I will work. If I want to start my own business, I will start my own business. To me, that is what freedom is. And I feel we are close to it because a lot of people are starting their own business. Look at this, Focus Up Network. We started our own business. It's an LLC, baby, all that. So we are free. And we are in God's greatest country on this earth.
And so now I can actually speak on it because I have something to disagree with. No, I'm just saying. Go ahead, Brother Apple, go ahead. It's like a subject that's way out there in space, but now he tied it to something concrete, independence. And then come to think of it, things that RZA mentioned. We have our own businesses and this and that. Everything he mentioned, though, we already had during slavery and after slavery. You brought up Tulsa. Do you know what percentage of the black community in that area in that city was employed by Black Wall Street?
Maybe about 80%.
No, like 2 to 1%. I'm saying it's not this big thing that people think or thought it was, and we know this because of the records that have been procured. This is public information. They only employed a small percentage of the population. Black people don't generate enough wealth. We talk a lot about Black businesses, but who's going to patronize you if they're laying off jobs? If Black women, as an example, 320,000 laid off since February, they can't patronize a Black business because they don't have money. The majority of white people are employed by the government, and so are Black people too. You know what I'm saying? So most people are employed. They work in the private sector or they work in the public sector. His piece on independence, it's really kind of hard to even approach that. Like RZA, it's a bunch of abstract because there are no measurables. Like what the fuck is we got more bit that he's talking a bunch of shit, but nothing measurable. Like once you get to something objective and measurable, then we can measure how close we are to freedom. Look at the words you're using, close. That implies something measurable. But what's the metric?
It is measurable. Wait. I'm not really feeling what you're saying, my brother. Because we got more Black millionaires than we ever had before. Not necessarily saying they're actually contributing back to the Black community, but a lot of them are. So I think what he's saying is we're in position to have what we will deem as total freedom. Free from the white man foot on our neck. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think he's alluding to.
Okay, let me say this. Let me tell you what I think my definition of freedom is. Freedom means that you have control of your own land, your economy, and everything, and you're not beholden to any government. That's freedom.
Just like that. So I mean,
that's the last part. He said you're not beholden to any government.
Well, to the current government.
I disagree with.
If we had our own country, ran our own country and land and all that old stuff. That's what I'm saying. If we had our own country and beholden to our own government, holding ourselves to account and not given to the United States government. As long as we given to the United States government, you will never be free.
So what it sounds like you said. We're only as free as the government allows us to be, is what it sounds like.
Pretty much.
And
my thing about that is that the government is the largest employment of the United States population. So I mean, you're never going to be, and the thing is, if you are to be free, I think it works two ways: not being a recipient from the government, but also not contributing to the government. So if Black people don't tax us for 100 years to make up for, then I would say, yeah, we should no longer be dependent upon the government. But as long as we're giving money to the government, I want to get some of them funds back. I want to see some of that reflected in the community development, in my community.
Let me just read what AI puts out as what the definition of freedom is. Freedom is the power or act or right to act, speak, or think without restraint or coercion. So, I mean, from what y'all saying, it's pretty much in line with that. But from what it looks like, the government is the cap. They have the ability to restrict our freedom as far as we can move. But within that realm of the government, I believe that we are free, like as opposed to having to go work for the government. You could quit that job because it's an at-will work. And they can fire you, but you can quit and move on. You could go and start a business if you're successful.
Well, what makes you think like starting a business is actually harder? I'm saying you're going to even if it's not the public sector, government, then it's the private sector. That's the majority of the population.
You're starting the private sector. If you start your own business, that's like starting the private sector, right? So you have the freedom.
You've been to a poor country, right? To a poverty-stricken country.
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody is a fucking entrepreneur. Everyone has their own business. It doesn't affect poverty, though.
But they have the right to do it. So I'm not, as far as I'm just talking in the realm of
People have the
freedom.
right to starve to death and not work. Yeah, they do.
Exactly. So in the realm of freedom, you have the right to go start your own business and do successful or not, or
I'm saying,
unsuccessful.
is that really freedom now? The right to starve to death, the right to not have housing and clothing.
You're catastrophizing. You're looking at the worst case scenario. Some people start and boom and say, now it may be a small percent, but it happens. So I mean, why look at the catastrophe of it when you can have the potential of, you know what? Let me try this out.
Only a small percent of businesses actually make it to become successful. That's why. Why would I major in something that's the minor?
We understand that. You know it when you get into it. If you do the research, you know it that it's a small percent. But how many people start restaurants every day because they have that dream?
And how many restaurants fail?
A bunch of them. Most of them.
My problem is this: that we're looking at entrepreneurship or starting your own business as a way to liberate Black people, and I'm just saying that's not.
I'm just talking about freedom. As an individual, you are more free.
Nobody said that.
But listen, you are more free if you start your own business. Opposed, you're not on nobody's clock anymore. If you can make enough money to wake up and on your own time and go make some money out that day, you are as free as you want to be. It's some people that would rather be on the street selling oranges as opposed to having to go punch a clock. It's people that would rather be there selling bean pies as opposed to go punching the clock. That's their choice. They're free. As within the realm of the government, that's the free they can be.
I got you. But when you're not free from poverty, when you're not free from starvation and things like that, that's not freedom.
What you mean? You're saying when you're acting like somebody's supposed to feed you.
Yeah.
If you say, if I say I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, I know the risk. And I get out there, start working, and I can't buy food at night. And I say, okay, is it worth it? And I wake up and do it again. Guess what? It must be worth it to me. Though nobody owes me nothing.
Facts.
That's freedom. I could starve if I choose to starve.
Hey, wait, brother agnostic.
Okay, go ahead, Walk.
I'm gonna piggyback a little off from Lloyd X, what he so elegantly just said. It's like this. I know personally people who chose to be homeless. They prefer to be homeless, living on the street. And it's not all like a mental problem. In our mind, we thinking like, oh, something wrong with you up here. But that's why they chose. My brother know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna put him out there like that, but they chose that. That's what and they free to do so if they want in America.
Just like that.
Okay.
Again, that's why I didn't want to really delve into this. I mean, this is a philosophical question, and people have laid out.
That's why I framed it that way, based off of what you said. I said, let me reframe it so that he can participate.
Hey,
I don't. Again, we're not really defining what freedom is, so it's hard to measure Black people how close we are to this imagined freedom. Let me give a quick example. So, back during feudal times, you had peasants that were tied to the land. They couldn't leave. They're by generation. If you were a blacksmith, your father was a blacksmith, blah, 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 you were tied to the land. Okay, when they wanted to use the land to start growing wool, because during the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, they kicked the people off the land. And where did they have to go? They had to go to the cities to get the worst jobs ever in the beginning stages of industrialism. But as you argue, they had a choice. They could have stayed in the countryside somewhere and just starved to death, or take these low wage jobs. I'm saying, but that's not real freedom, man. It's kind of like this. You go to a McDonald's and say you look at the menu and you choose something. Is that exercising your freedom?
Within that realm of their menu, yes, because that's all they have to offer.
So
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said within this government. I'm not talking about you're free to just come and go as you please. You still got to get a passport because that's the rules established.
Wouldn't real freedom be more like you having a say-so and deciding how the menu looks?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, that's why you start your own business.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, go to a different restaurant.
Business. And you got, now this is how I want the McDonald's menu to look. And I call it McDowell's.
Freedom. Let's move on, fellas.
Okay.
We done beat this to death.
Okay.
But Info has something on his mind.
Yeah, I do have something on my mind. Y'all heard the rumor that Diddy may be getting a pardon from Trump?
He said it's not true. Diddy said, Trump said it's not true.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. I saw. He said it's not true. The Levitt lady said it.
Oh yeah, Caroline Levitt.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt.
Oh, yeah, Caroline.
Don't do it. Hey, y'all heard about that dude Kevin McCall that was crying with his?
Yep, I saw it. That was sad.
That was pathetic, bro.
That was sad, dude.
See, watch this. He got the freedom to write some more fucking songs, sing an album, get in the studio, and put some good music out. That's what, instead of crying, a grown ass man crying and drooling at the.
We lost him.
Yeah,
he lost his face, man.
He dropped.
He went to the ethers, man. Wow.
He probably forgot to plug his phone in. Man, he go. All right. He was just saying some good stuff too.
It's not running out.
Plug this connection
already.
Yeah. Well, you know, as far as the brother crying on it for the EBT, man, you gotta just pull yourself up by the bootstrap.
Oh man, come on, man.
That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke.
I thought it could have been true because George Santos had gotten a pardon, and look at all the stuff he done did.
Yep. And that the crypto guy he just pardoned too. He's using his king's power to the max. He's like, oh, y'all want no kings? Let me show you what a king can do. I think I'm starting to believe that the marches is just inciting him to do worse. He's showing that he is a king, tearing down the White House, freeing people that people like, no, they can't. His next step gonna be that Ghislaine Maxwell. He gonna free her ass and be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she gonna be gone.
Yeah, he won't emphatically say that he would. He plays like I forgot about it. I don't really know about it. Man, he's dreaming about her every night and what she might say or do. But when pressed and at the press conferences, when asked questions about her, it's like, oh, I barely even remember her. Man,
I believe that though, because he can't he don't know the difference between India and Iran. So
yeah.
All right. So I guess
what's the common denominator? Nice guy brought up January 6th pardons too. You know, he only gives the majority of his pardons are to white men. So
yeah, he gave somebody Kodak Black and Lil Wayne, right?
Yeah,
he gave him pardon.
Selective celebrities, I'm saying, but the majority have been white men.
Yeah. Yep. And then I guess that'll be the end of our show here. Our first show, we made it without Nice Guy, but Nice Guy, you always welcome back. Your diligence and your hard work, and you're putting the information out there for everybody to be prepared for the show. It was greatly missed this week. I did the best I could do. I asked Walk to do it, and it didn't happen. So there's that. But here we are, and we'll be back next week. And hopefully my Nice Guy be like, man, this shit show, let me come and straighten this shit out and fix and get things back on track. So you're always welcome back, Mr. Nice Guy. You're always welcome back. And let me end this stream. So I don't even know where the end stream at because Nice Guy's not here. God damn, this show's going to